Well, happy Aloha Friday to everyone out there in Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn. We have some very special guests that are going to be sharing with us today. They've done a lot of wonderful work with our families and children and teens within the community. And Attilio and I are very excited to share with all of you guys about this program from Keiki o Aina, as well as the extension that they have recently added on to the program that reaches our teens. So we've got Melodie, who's going to be sharing with us a little bit about the preschoolers and the families here with us today. And then we have Aaron, who's going to touch a little bit more on the teens. So welcome, both of you, and thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Appreciate it.
Yep, so I'm going to put the banner here. And Attilio, you have, can you hear us?
There you go. Let's go live.
Okay, we are live.
Oh,
and
okay.
I've already done a little intro for our guest Melodie and Aaron, but I'm sure that we can go a little bit deeper on this important nonprofit that's a part of our community. So Melodie, maybe you can share with us about how did you get involved with Keiki o Aina and just a little bit more about the programs you guys offer.
Well, let me just share a little bit about Keiki o Aina. So this is a 26-year-old organization, nonprofit Native Hawaiian Christian organization. And I've been pretty blessed to have been around that long with it, not necessarily working with Keiki o Aina specifically, but knowing Momi and when she founded the organization. And like I mentioned to Adrian earlier, the mission of Keiki o Aina is to educate children, engage families, enrich communities, and perpetuate culture. So the core programs for Keiki o Aina, the programs that Momi started it with, are what we call family engagement programs. We have family learning centers throughout the island of Oahu. We have offices that provide parent education on just about every major island. Our family learning centers offer parent participation programs for families with babies through 5 years old at various community-based sites throughout the island of Oahu and on the island of Maui. And they also offer parent education programs where parents and a parent educator can come together and with a curriculum already designed for that, learn more about how they can prepare their child for school, how they can support their child emotionally, socially. So it's a very comprehensive program, and within all of it is culture, Hawaiian culture, because that's what we're about, Native Hawaiian culture. So we have infused and actually grounded all of our curriculum on the Native Hawaiian culture. So that'll be throughout. Families participate in things like creating their own papa or poi pounding board and creating their own pohaku or poi pounder. And we've had thousands of families go through what we call a board and stone class where they make their own papa and pohaku, and then they learn how to pound their own poi, and then they come to, or pa'iai, and they come to Koka regularly to get the kalo to do that. We have other language classes, hula classes, so a lot of culture just infused throughout all of our programs. And basically that's what Keiki o Aina is about.
So Melodie, what kind of events or trainings are coming up? I see that Tilio has put up the website here, and we've got the calendar of events. Are they mostly being done via Zoom, or are they outside? How have you guys made that shift due to COVID?
Yes, COVID. So all of our family engagement classes are done through virtual classrooms. That's what we call them. And so they're done through Zoom. And we have about 6 what we call kumu out there doing virtual classrooms every day, Monday through Thursday, every morning. You have to actually get in touch with Keiki Aina and enroll for any one of those sites, we call them. And then you participate in a virtual classroom. And then our parent educators also do virtual. So they set up groups, not more than 10, preferably around 7 families at a time participate. And they also do it virtually. So the best way to get involved with that is to call Keiki Aina at that 843-2502 number, or just go to the website and there will be a place called Central Intake in there that you can click on and send a message to our Central Intake people, and they will contact you and then direct you to do whatever it takes, the paperwork it takes, and then to our the people that are actually doing the programs. And we have one more that is kind of that place where before Aaron's program, and that we have 2 preschool sites. We have one out in Palolo, which is on the Anuenue Language Immersion Campus. And we have another preschool site, which is out in Maili on the Kamehameha Schools Education Campus. And those preschool sites are preschool classrooms that were also virtual until just last week, or just this week, actually, Tuesday after the holiday.
You guys opened them up for the young ones
on site. Yes.
How many kids are accepted into this preschool program, and is there like a waiting list? How does that work? It sounds like an amazing service you guys are offering.
Yeah, since the COVID situation, a lot of families still aren't comfortable having their child be at an on-site program. So we still offer the virtual for them. But if they need the child care and they need to come and be on site in a quality program, then right now we are fully open for enrollment at both the Palolo site and the Maili site. We have 2 classrooms in Maili, so we can take up to 40 children there. We have space for another 20 right now. And at Palolo, it's the same thing. We can take up to 24 children there. Both sites, we are only taking up to about 80% of our capacity because of the COVID thing. We want to make sure everyone is safe and distanced and all of that. So there we can take probably another 15 Keiki in that program. So we're still accepting them, and they're still welcome to call our intake office. They'll be directed to the directors of either of those programs and sign and enroll.
Hey, Melody, this is Leo. So real quick, what's the phone number? Because I don't see it. I know you got to fill out some kind of form. So give me that phone number again.
They can call Keiki Aina at 843-2502. Or they can call directly our intake office at 798-2055.
Okay, so what's the difference between those 2 numbers?
Well, if you call the Keiki Aina office, you're going right to Keiki Aina, where we have a few administrative people working there. Most of us working at home. The other number I gave you is our direct central intake number. They're the ones that actually provide you with the enrollment process and the enrollment forms and all of, they'll talk to you a little bit more about the different programs and so on.
All right. So, but if we had to pick one number to give everybody, which one would it be? The 843 or the 798?
The 798.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Adrian, go ahead and put that in the banner. So 798-2055, 798-2055. I know people that might be listening in or watching this right now, or most of the time we get a lot of our viewership after the fact. They just want a number so they can get, this is like, this live streaming is Miller Lite. We're getting less filling great taste. Little poo-poos of the information here.
There it is.
Here, so there's that, and then I'm going to go to this screen here so we can see. Go ahead and put that back up, Adrian.
Okay, and then I also wanted to to bring Aaron into the conversation, and I think that this has been a wonderful extension of the program that you guys are already offering for our young families and the preschoolers. So Aaron's come in and created some support for the teens. So Aaron, maybe you could share with us a little bit about this program on how to build healthy relationships and why is that so important for our teens?
Yeah, thank you guys again for having us on the show. So appreciate the opportunity. And so what our goal is, it's Ho'ihiki Pilina, or healthy relationships, HPP for short. So what we're doing is we have this curriculum from the Dibble Institute. And so it's an evidence-based curriculum that really engages the teens where they're at. So our program, the age range is 14 to 18 years old. And here's our goal. We want to make sure that our teens have the tools and information to navigate relationships. I've got 3 teenagers myself, 18, 16, and 13. So the Larson Ohana is in the throes of teenageness. So I know what parents are going through. And it's not all bad. I mean, it's a wonderful time. To be alive and to see your kids grow up. But our kids today are facing so much information overload that I think for all of us here didn't have to deal with when we were teenagers. So this is our goal. We want to make sure that our teens are equipped and that they have a voice. So one of the strengths of the program is we allow up to 15 students per class, and we want to get a conversation going. Because right now I have a parent view of what it is like to be a teenager. And I know that's not always the correct view. So we get an opportunity to sit on a Zoom call in a Zoom classroom with 15 teenagers and hear exactly from them, hey, what are the obstacles? What's working right in your relationships? Whether it's friendship with your parents, maybe an employer, but definitely in the dating field, those romantic relationships. That is something that I don't care how old you are, that's sometimes difficult to navigate. So we want to make sure that the teens have an opportunity and a place to express where they're at. And then we have these amazing tools and this amazing curriculum to actually help them. I mean, as soon as they get off the Zoom call, what we've talked about, what we've taught them in class, they can use in their house, with their friends, at school, and definitely in the dating field as well.
So Aaron, how often do you guys have these classes?
Yeah, so we run these classes weekly. So we have a couple of different options. We have a 4-day class, which is Tuesday through Friday, and we have multiple class times available. So with COVID, some schools going back to actually on-campus learning, some people still doing distance learning. We are doing everything as far as HPP goes via Zoom. So we have opportunities for an 8:30, a 12:30, a 2:30, and a 3:30 class time for the 4-day class, Tuesday through Friday. They happen every single week. We also have, if the teens have a break or have an option, a 2-day class, which is Wednesdays and Thursdays. And we only run that if we get enough people who are interested to actually do that. And with school and everything going on, we don't often run that 2-day class, but it is an option. And then that's Wednesday, Thursdays, 8:30 to 3. And of course, we give breaks in between. I think the largest...
I was going to say, you guys got really kind of outside the box and were super creative. You had this is how you came across my radar, because I have a couple of teens in my household, and I think you were running something like, hey, if you complete this class successfully, we'll give you an Amazon gift card. I thought,
Yes.
oh, that's a good way to
It's not a
motivate
bait and switch.
you.
Okay. It's not a bait and switch. You're going to get the Amazon gift card. You're going to have fun in the class as well. You're going to learn stuff. But yeah, we wanted to make sure that there was an incentive for teens to step in. And it's $100 Amazon gift card if you enroll and successfully complete the class. So there's a couple of things that you need to do. You can go to our website. You can see right there, hpp.coca.org for the enrollment form. You can download it, fill it out, send it right to us. You can denote what class time you want, what start date you want. Yeah, so we want to make sure that, and the class is free. So it's a free class offered to the community for teenagers ages 14 to 18. And we want to do whatever we can in a positive way to get them to step into the class. And I'm telling you, if I could be a teenager and get a $100 Amazon gift card, I would go back and take the class myself, but I can't give it to other people.
Well, the other thing I want to point out to our listeners, a lot of times we think that, a lot of highly successful people in our community have it all put together. They don't. They're just as fallible as the rest of us. And the point I'm making is I was listening to Michael Phelps. Anybody know who Michael Phelps is?
Oh, yeah. Everyone knows Michael Phelps.
Still to this day, he's won more gold medals as an Olympic athlete than any other athlete on the planet Earth right now. And guess what? 2 years ago, he suffered from very serious depression where it was like the bottom of the bottom of the bottom. And I was just listening to a podcast of him this morning, and he said something that really hit me. He says, it wasn't until the age of 30 that I learned how to communicate. And what he meant by that is that, you have skill sets in your other areas of your life, but that basic ability to communicate and let people know that I need help, that's a challenge for a lot of people. And I think, would you guys agree, Melodie and Aaron, that we're seeing probably at this time with a lot of the home sheltering, a lot of the, us not being able to interact with each other, humans need to connect, and you guys are teaching them those skills. More background for me, my first two kids actually participated in Keiki Oka Aina. Myself, I'm a native Hawaiian. I live on Hawaiian homes, Kamehameha School graduate. My sons graduated from Kamehameha schools, and I got to participate in Keiki Oka Aina, so I feel like I won the Hawaiian lottery. A lot of benefits. So I really, I do have a personal foundation or belief in the program. And then, so to bring people home to what this program is, if people remember, Keiki Oka Aina, I think, was it the Kalihi in Kalihi, right? And they did the with Ty Pennington.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. And built the home and everything like that. So that was real stuff. And and my oldest right now is 25, and he participated when he was probably 5 years old. So 20 years ago. 20 years ago, we got to participate there. And what I liked about it, it was in our own community, out here in Kapolei. Because I think at that time, I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but 20 years ago, you guys didn't have the big facility that you have today, right?
No, and also I think that was a one of the first sites for the family learning centers.
Yeah,
your son participated in. So we weren't as big as we are now 20 years ago.
But I remember as a young parent, brand new parent with my 5-year-old, and then my daughter at the time was 3 or 4, going to something at Waimea Falls, and then had all these Hawaiian games that we played, going to the zoo, and having all these events. All these field trips that we went to with our 2 little ones and all the other families, and participating in that. And I was, fast forward today, here we are, right? And you guys are helping more people. But correct me if I'm wrong, you guys are not, there's no, you guys don't, unfortunately, not like Kamehameha schools, you don't have a $8 billion estate that's funding you, so you do need help. I see there's a big donate button right here. So those of you business people, people in our community that want to help, I want you, if you're hearing my voice or seeing this later, hit that button. Hit that button and put your credit card in there and help out this program, because it sounds great. What else, Adrian or Aaron or Melodie?
Well, I just want to say, thank you guys for being here and sharing a little bit about your programs and how they help the community.
Thank
So
you.
if there's anything more that we should have touched on, maybe like a success story, if each of you want to share, I think that would be a nice way to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Aaron?
just for what you guys were saying, because of COVID, because this the healthy relationships class was set to be done, live, and you get the interaction, you get them, you get the kids, the teens in groups, interacting with one another. So what we've discovered is we've had parents actually reach out to us and say, thank you, not just for what you're teaching our teenagers, but we have an opportunity for our teens when they're isolated to actually see other teenagers, some of them friends that they know, some are new teenagers, and actually have conversation. And the parents were actually telling us, it helps us have peace of mind, but my teen has even said, it helped me feel less isolated. It helped me feel like, hey, I'm not alone in this. And again, think about it. You're a teenager, you've got all the neurochemicals and hormones going on. You can connect through this stuff in media, but what about connecting face to face? And hey, if it has to be Zoom, that's fine. At least you're hearing from one of your peers. You're seeing that, hey, they're going through the same thing that you're going through, and you get an opportunity to share that while learning about how to navigate healthy relationships. And at the end of the day, getting a $100 Amazon gift card.
$100 Amazon gift card. That alone should get people to check it out. And that the snarky teenager, right? They're like, I'll do it eventually. And then I'm sure you see them turning, and then they're seeing other of their peers that are doing it. Because I tell you, it is a challenge. It's almost prophetic that you guys are doing this, because 20 years ago, did you guys know there was going to be a pandemic and people were be home sheltering and having all some serious social connecting issues that we have today? No. So Keiki, Aina, and you guys program, you've been preparing for the last 20 years for this. But if you think about it, let's go back in time to our original Hawaiian culture. There was no healthcare support system. There was no Costco. Our communities 1,000 years ago, as Native Hawaiians, we figured it out. Ho'oponopono, that is I know that's a therapy type system that is from old ancient Hawaiian times that's been adopted into modern day therapy. And that came from Hawaiians over 1,000 years ago. So kudos to you and the whole organization. But Melodie, your success story.
Well, I want to just piggyback on Aaron, because during this time, we saw how difficult it was for schools to kind of make that transition from the classroom to a virtual setting. I mean, the DOE, other private schools, it just was so difficult, and it continues to be. But I think our success story is that we have been able to have over 300 families stay with us for a year virtually. And they won't miss it. They won't give up. They're there every day, 1 hour a day, participating with their child, or in some cases just in a parent education setting, but they're there. And it's true what Aaron says, the need to connect with other people. But I think even above that need is the need for the program or organization to provide a real quality, necessary support service that people would just want to be a part of. And we found that place, we found that niche, and over 300 families are there with us every day.
Yeah. So we are coming to the end and we are wrapping it up, but we are, if people want to get some more information, you can call that number. You can go to the website. I see lots of information here on the internet for what you guys are providing. Adrian, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're going to have them also on the radio show?
Yes, we do have them scheduled to be on the radio show as well. So for our people that are, not on the social media and they like to hear the talk radio, you can.
Well, you know what I love about what you guys are
there.
Yeah, what I love about what you guys are doing is that a lot of times we have this reliance on government is going to go solve all the problems. Hello, folks, wake up. Here's the news. I got bad news for you. The government cannot solve all the problems. A lot of times when we're looking forward, we need to look backwards to where we've come to not repeat the same things. The Hawaiian culture, they were the original reduce, reuse, recycle, get it all worked out. Nobody goes to bed, the original Brady Bunch. Nobody goes to bed with or lets the sun set on bad relationships. You would clean that up because you got to go see that person next day at the canoe house,
Yeah.
or you got to go see them in the kalo patch. And so, thank you guys so much because you're focusing on the pico or the center of our communities, which is our families, right?
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And thank you for incorporating our Hawaiian traditions and culture into that, because I think we get too quick moving forward with there's something on the internet or something we're going to Google that's going to solve it. When you know what, the solutions to our modern day challenges sometimes must come from the past and we must be reminded of it.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
all right.
Right.
Any last things, Adrian?
Nope. Just looking forward to having you guys on as our guests on the radio show, and just thank you, Melodie and Aaron, for sharing with our viewers today. We appreciate both of you.
And
thank you to both of you.
Thank you.
One last time for those teenagers out there, $100 Amazon gift card.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna end the live broadcast. So see you
Take
later.
care.